My extracurriculars as a high school junior. So I started high school with obviously nothing, right? We all kind of start with nothing. I kind of had basketball going for me, but I wasn't good enough, so I had to drop that. Um, I also did Technology Student Association. I was a member because I was, just a freshman. I did Black Student Union and Youth Advisory Board, like my city council ish. And I think that might have been it. Hold on, let me pull up my. I have a whole list here. Like little recommendation: make a sheets document of all your extracurriculars and track it throughout high school. It is really, really, really helpful. Like you never know when like you just might need to like you might forget one. Like to those of you who have like a lot. Um, yeah, and like technically this like yeah. No okay, no okay. I'll say yeah. That's the three I had. TSA, BSU, and the youth city council thing. Um, I didn't have much depth, but I did run for officer for both BSU and TSA, and as well as the advisory board. And I got all three positions. I got vice president of TSA, um, PR for BSU, and administrator for youth advisory board, which is it goes like I think chair, vice chair, secretary maybe, and then administrator or just administrator. I don't know. But I got those three right. And then throughout the sophomore year, I just kind of like went more in depth in those programs. Super grateful to be a part of them. I also joined DECA sophomore year, and I think I'm doing. I'll get into that later. And I also joined National Honor Society, and yeah. Oh, and I earned a nonprofit position for like a student led initiative. They call it right. It was new and it was for my home country, Ethiopia, called Echo for Ethiopia. And basically, we fund clothes, money, school supplies, etc., to students in Ethiopia who really need it because there is a lack of chain supply, right? So, um, yeah. So that added like two things under my belt. And that summer, I did this, or this past summer, I did a pretty prestigious program in Cupertino, California, with Apple, and all funds, all expenses paid. It was a STEAM program. Probably haven't heard of it, so I'm not even gonna say the name, but it is meant to be shown to light this year. I think only this year 4,000 applicants applied, and I was like one of 15, so pretty prestigious. And I got this free MacBook, a couple other free items, and a ton of experience and a ton of networking, which is probably the most valuable thing I got out of that. And I met a bunch of pretty cool kids. And I also got to design and create a urinalysis device, well, specifically for my team, but in general, we got to create a health and wellness device that we got to present to Apple execs. So, something slight. But I did lose both my officer elections for BSU and TSA, which I'm always gonna be ashamed of BSU. TSA I didn't really care about anymore because I didn't like the community personally. My speech was more like a farewell speech. I just didn't care for the community anymore or the advisor per se. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I don't care. Yeah, so this year, and I ran for ASB student government my sophomore year, and I got secretary. I am ASB secretary. And yeah, I didn't really. Oh, and I also joined my district's DEI represent. Like I'm representing my school for to the district as like the DEI representative of the district. So, which is actually pretty big. I'm kind of like underlying it right now, but yeah, I also am gonna be in DECA again. I'm choosing to. And as for how I performed in like TSA and DECA and stuff, I'm gonna be so honest. I lost like all my competitions. The farthest I got was like top 12 in music production with on a team that like really some of my two close friends carried me on to be honest. But that was really fun. That was really really fun. And yeah, Yeah, that's my current extracurricular list. It's about, I mean, yeah, technically it's 10 or 11 pieces long. National Honor Society, it's kind of like a shadow zone right now. Oh, I didn't mention this. Okay. So this isn't on my list, but when I was in sixth grade, I was a Roblox game developer during COVID, and I kind of like me and a couple other like online friends from like across the country, who were like 3 4 years older than me, founded a Roblox community, and it actually got pretty big. We got to around like 8,000 members, and although I ended up leaving after quarantine, the game never really picked up, but we had a lot of progress going. I was a programmer and a character rigger slash animator. Like I animated Roblox characters and I programmed them, and I also programmed like a bunch of other things. But like it was really really fun, and yeah. So obviously for my list, it kind of is a combination between like STEM slash leadership. So nothing like too STEM heavy oriented, but nothing like actually no. This is probably more leadership oriented, with the exception of the Roblox game and the Apple program that I got to go to. Like I think I have like a good like mix of both, but I'm like I have like 2 feet in like two separate doors right now, and so like there's not really like a string that I can kind of attach them to unless I'm applying to like a very specific major like product management or honestly yeah project management something like that, right? But that's why I'm doing DECA. I can kind of see like the bridge between those two. Doing that, I didn't have success in DECA last year, but this year I'm thinking of doing the 10 pager. And if for those of you who don't know, the 10 pager is a obviously a DECA event that you basically just design a business model for a product, right? With like pretty much no limits. And so using what I've learned from Apple or the Apple program, I think I can like honestly do that pretty easily by my state's area, and maybe go to state for it, and then who knows, maybe nationals. I would love to get a national award, right? Like I need awards right now. Speaking of awards, I have zero awards. I have zero awards. I'm a junior, so like it's you know the only awards I could have right now are like science fair awards or like stuff like that. But I I have nothing. I have nothing, and I am not ashamed to admit that. I have a dream school in mind, which is Stanford, which maybe maybe I'm not gonna get in, sure. But in general, I think I'm on a good path right now. I have a good GPA. I'm taking 5 APs this year, which isn't enough if I don't get like fives on pretty much all of them. But I'm challenging myself with good course rigor. I'm gonna graduate high school with like 12 to 13 APs out of like the 17 my school offers, which is like really good in my opinion. And I also have like on my EC list, I have like color coded and everything. And but on this are like a bunch of like ideas, right? Like I thought about joining my school's robotics team. Um, I thought about creating a model UN club. I thought about joining Nesby, which I don't even know is possible for high schoolers, but somebody told me that it was. Um, I'm applying for like this like university program in my state, whatever. But I'm also thinking of finding like a human rights club, and I also applied to a certain computing program, but that was like a while ago, and they never got back to me, so that probably got rejected. But I did apply to two other things, and I got in for those, but they're kind of like pay to win type thing, so like I'm probably not gonna do it. But they were research opportunities that were like pretty cool. But that's my current list. That's my current extracurriculars. I am by no means the most accomplished high schooler out there. I do think I'm like in the 85th percentile or 80th percentile of high schoolers in terms of like accomplishments, even though they can't really be like measured. Um, yeah, this year I plan on doing research, like getting published research in neuroscience, machine learning, and overall, it's basing it around artificial intelligence and neural networks. Excuse me. And let's see. Honestly, I don't have much to say. Like, feel like I'm missing something. I'll make a part two, whatever. But yeah, that's me as of right now.